I wasn't sure what I should title this stream. Um, I was gonna title it failure, but I decided to change it to a review. So it's gonna be an honest review of this application. And but I will also talk about obviously the cons and some of the issues that I had yesterday when I was trying to improve on it. Okay, so let's begin. So this one is just going to be mostly talking. I'm not going to write an article for this one. It's just going to be an honest review, and hopefully I'll do some of this type of videos when in future applications completed. So as you can tell here is this is what we did literally just yesterday or last video. We did this. We modified the application so that you'll be able to watch. Select the camera for the from a mobile device or any device, and then pick what camera you want. For example, on a mobile device, in general, you can pick the front camera or the back camera. So I decided to use the back camera because it's usually easier. It's also the one that we're pointing, for example, out on the outside, so that the phone doesn't heat up as much. One of the issues with HTML5 cameras is that on a mobile phone is the mobile phone screen has to be on. If it goes to sleep, then the entire application also goes to sleep, so it means it stops recording, which is not what we want. So another issue I'm having right now, I'll show you right now, is I actually changed the rooms because in this room where I set up, it's actually a much better angle right to the hoop coop. So this is the hoop coop here. I've zoomed in a little bit, and I'm able to see. So what happened today is when I let the chickens out, I'm zooming in. So when I let the chickens out, they actually followed me. I wanted to investigate these trees here, so I went there, and because they love eating snow and ice, so they went here, and about 6 of them went here, and when it got a little chilly, so I was trying to walk them back into the coop. They decided to stay there, even though I left them. I was kind of surprised, so that meant that I had to actually set this camera application up and running. So it's an old phone that I'm using. So I also need a mount because right now I'm using like a chocolate box, a Christmas chocolate box, and some bungee cords to mount it here. So it's not very good. It's a weird setup. I'll take some photos of that. Maybe I'll show you next time. So I might actually mount it on the window. The reason I don't want to put it right against the window because, for example, today is a sunny day, so it's really warm in this room. And obviously with glass, the glass will heat up, and I don't want the phone to be, because it's already an old phone, meaning the battery is already expanding, so I don't want it to heat up too much. So that's one of the cons of this not using a dedicated camera. I also thought of another option I might be able to do in the future is that maybe I can tear apart this phone and get its camera and use that, for example, on a Raspberry Pi, because Raspberry Pi is actually very low power and it already has Linux on it, so that's something maybe better. Another option is also have a drone. One of the things that I want to do in the future is maybe have a drone and mount maybe like on top of this small shed here, or even the coop itself. I can put the battery, the charger running off solar panels. And so this way the drone can go up, say about, I don't know, every 15 minutes, just check on the girls, and then when it goes low on power, it can go and sit down here to charge by pointing towards the hoop coop, and that way, even when it's charging low power, it's still always pointing in that direction. So the only time I would need it to go up is when the girls are a little bit farther away, like example towards the trees or towards the house. So you can zoom in here. So another problem I also ran into is I thought that by using the back camera, I'll be able to get a higher resolution video, which it is. It's much better quality, but I thought it would be higher resolution, so the pictures would be at a higher resolution. So unfortunately, that it is better, but I think it's because it's video. I think video, for at least for this phone, was stuck at, I think, 1080p or maybe even 720p. So the problem with that is I'm not able to get clear photos from a distance. It's kind of a shame. Or for example, I can't just use the camera to take photos. Even if photos were taken, say, every 5 seconds, that would have been a much better option. So I think I'll have to wait for something like that for more premium phone like the one of my current daily driver. Or I said maybe I might get an old maybe from eBay or somewhere. I can maybe buy another premium-ish phone and use that. I wonder if the iPhone would work better. Maybe I'll test the iPhone. I think what I'll do is, yeah, maybe for next time I'll test the iPhone and I'll let you guys know how that works. Maybe the iPhone is actually better, even if it's older. I think that, yeah, it might be better for video recording with the back camera. I'll try that out. That might do what I want. Basically, what I want is I like to take higher resolution, even if it's just photos. Unfortunately, with HTML5, the photos are taken actually from the video, so meaning that the quality won't be high resolution. I'm talking about resolution as in 4K type stuff is, or even 2K, not 2K, 33, 4K or more photos. I don't care about video. The photos is what I want. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the failures from yesterday. So I'll keep this always on top. Okay, so let's go in here. This is just a review. So if you see in this series, we started off with this one, turning the old phone into a security camera. Then we used PHP. So this one was just the front end part. This was just to grab the camera, preview it. That's all this is. And then with this one, the PHP one, we tweaked it so that instead of previewing it on the device, we took a shot, meaning a photo every 3 seconds, and then we sent it to our server. So in this case, I used PHP. PHP wasn't just for handling the code, it also has a built-in web server, and that's what we decided to do. So PHP would simply get the photo, the uploaded photo, and be ready to serve it in simply another HTML, separate HTML. The reason I separated them was because I might use different something else, like say Python instead, or maybe Node.js, and I might still do that probably even as early as tomorrow. So, and in here I used Stunnel because HTML5 camera access requires you can't do it the unsecure way, meaning HTTP. It needs a secure one, HTTPS. So I was able to create a self-signed certificate and use Stunnel to proxy it. So that way I was able to select the camera or cameras. Now, this can also be done for audio, but in my case, all I care about is just the visual. So that's the video part. I don't need audio. I mean, I don't need access to the audio. And then we tweaked the code again here, where we were able to select between the different cameras, because up to the stuff we did prior to yesterday, we were just using the default camera. So it could have been most likely it would be the front camera, or if you have somehow some phones you're able to change the default to the back camera, then that would be it. But being able to choose yourself works pretty well. So that's what we did. So what I would really like have done today was I was going to use another part of the WebRTC, which is it's called WebSockets. So with WebSockets, you can it's a one-to-one connection, meaning that you're able to send more data more frequently without having to worry about stop pages or anything like that. So meaning that I'll be able to send, for example, usually it's meant for like chat services where you send text, but what I wanted to do was to send video, but photos are fine too. So that's what I had tried to do. Now I looked at all the examples online. I tried them. Most of them wanted to use libraries, but libraries didn't do the photos or the video. So I tried to create my own. I came close, but the problem was when I did the base 64, which is just text, that failed, and when I tried to do the binary, that failed as well. So I think it's because of the character set. I'm not sure why, because everything is UTF-8. I'm using Linux, Fedora Linux to be exact. I still failed. So at least I did enough where it could have future content. So maybe that's what we'll do in the future. We'll do that and try again later on. There are others as well. So the reason I didn't want to spend too much time on it is because I could do the same thing using something like, say, Apache or Nginx. So that's why I didn't want to. There are dedicated servers which can do that. So I was hoping it would be something small I could do myself. But as I said, let's call it large text or binary files, those failed. So but I'll keep at it. Hopefully I can figure it out today and then have that for you tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll do something else. So, another problem I discovered with the phone is that besides having the screen being on all the time, was that the phone is also problematic because I need a stand, or I need a specific stand for it. So I jimmied up a stand. I think you've seen some of the photos. If not, I will maybe put them when I actually get a proper stand. So I'm gonna head over to a dollar store this coming week. I'll buy a stand and I'll take photos to show you what it actually looks like. I'm actually thinking of also putting it outside because outside will actually be better. But the problem I don't like about outside is right now we're still in winter, so it might be windy, and the phone is not waterproofed, so, and obviously the wind might knock it off, so that's why I'm a little wary with that. If I built some type of box for it, I wouldn't mind. I might do that. I might do that as well. Okay, so what else is here? Oh, another very simple problem. Let me show you this again to you. See, another problem I discovered, as I said, for example, here is, as I say, it's kind of low resolution. So if I try to zoom in, you see, it gets pixelated. You can't even tell, for example, like down here, is that a chicken? You can't tell. So yeah, so that's another problem. That's why I really wanted a high resolution photograph. So I'll be able to zoom in. So for example, when the girls go in the back here, this is practically useless because they're too far. I mean, you can't tell. Like I said, just for example, yeah, you see, like, what is this here, right? You can't tell what that is. This two are steps, but you see they're so pixelated you can't tell they're steps. And what is this here? There's the chickens. See, that's one of the problems as well. Is it's too low resolution. So those are type of things I will need to overcome, or I might have to get a dedicated camera instead. But I think mounting it outside would resolve that as well. But I really wish as I said, I'll try the iPhone. Maybe the iPhone will fix all those issues. Maybe we'll take high resolution video, which obviously will mean high resolution, a higher resolution photo as well. Now, when you see some flashing here, that's because it's windy and the flap for the door here is coming on and on. That's why that's happening. Zoomed into, what is that? And obviously another problem is you see this glare here because this is through glass. But I'm saying that's just a simple issue. It should still be a clear signal there. So those are the most issues with that. And so this is the phone I'm using right now, the Sony Xperia XA1 Ultra. It has a very good camera, except I think Sony kind of bricked it in that if you root the phone, then you won't be able to get the full access. You won't get the full access, or the camera is basically bricked. So I think that's the same thing with HTML5. I'm not able to take advantage of this really good high resolution, pretty good camera. So I think the iPhone doesn't have that. So I'll try it with the iPhone and I'll let you know. So if it works fine with the iPhone, then I might make an article, and then I'll do a quick review of that and compare it to the Sony one. Okay, so as I said before, this application, it takes photos every 3 seconds. Basically, it previews the video, then from that it takes a photo every 3 seconds from the canvas, and then this is the JavaScript, so this is basically the same thing. And then on the server side, we have JavaScript, which refreshes, so it basically picks the same photo. I renamed the photo the same, so just to make life easier. It's the same photo, the same image.png. And then the upload, the PHP file for the upload, and PHP is also the one that I'm using. Its built-in web server. You can use any web server you want. I said you can use Apache Nginx or so many others. It could be Python, Java, Node.js, anything you want. If you do want me to create a video using or changing the server out, I can do that. I do have examples on the website on how to do all that. And Stunnel is the one for the as I said, for the SSL certificate. So this one was also buggy. I mean, not buggy. The problem was all the instructions I found on the internet were really old or outdated. They didn't work for me. I had to actually create a configuration file and use it that way. And then, as I said before, so this is my daily driver phone. As you can see, it has 4 cameras, but because it's the FE version, thank you Samsung, these 2 cameras, the 2.2 and 2.3, do not work. Only this ones work, the 2.1 and 2.0, the front and back. But that's all you need for the for this using an old phone. And of course, you can also use a laptop or another device, tablet, to do the same thing. The reason I didn't use the laptop is because the laptop is obviously bigger. It's hard to mount it on a windowsill, and the quality is not very good. Although my laptop, it's actually 1080p, but it's pixelated and not pixelated. It's the quality is not. Let's be honest. Webcams, I mean the built-in webcams. For example, I have a webcam here I bought, I think, in 2009. It's one I mount on top of my desktop. That's way better. I think it's only 720p, but it's way better quality than the 1080 that came on the that came on the laptop. So just to show you how the quality of laptop webcams. And of course, this is from the article. So this is the video that we made, I said yesterday. So why did I do this in JavaScript? So because JavaScript is open source and it follows the MAScript standard, license and W3 software license, and which allows commercial use, modification, distribution, and making derivatives proprietary. So what this means is that, for example, you see the web browser vendors and runtime environment vendors. So web browser vendors could be like Mozilla with their Firefox, Apple with their Safari browser, Google with their Chrome browser. There's so many more. I'm not going to mention all of them. And then runtime environmental vendors, for example, like Node.js is one, and there are others as well, Tori and more. Okay, just let you know that every day I'll be creating a live stream. Although in the past I said it would be every weekday, I changed my mind. So definitely every weekend there will be a live stream. Every day I will try to make one, usually in the afternoon around 2 p.m., just like now. However, what I'm going to do is the live stream the one during the week might just be a talk like the one I'm doing now, and I mean, unless there's something important, but definitely coding will be on the weekend. Okay, and I don't want to take too long here because I say this was just a quick overview. So I'll summarize everything quickly. So would I recommend you do this? Sure, if you have a decent old phone, absolutely, this can work. But just be aware. The reason I prefer to use phone is because they also use low power. Even if it's plugged into the wall socket, it will use very low power, as you saw. So it's. However, if you're serious about this, the quality, as you can see here, I would love to get maybe a dedicated camera, which takes a higher resolution video, especially photos. That's really the one I want. Even just, I think a webcam, a specific webcam will probably be able to do that. You know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to see if I can take my webcam, and I really don't want to unplug it. I might unplug it and put it on a laptop and see if that takes better photos. And because the one I have, you can pivot it. So maybe that's something I'll be able to do. I can test that. But I think having like a drone might be better as well. So we can maybe program a drone. So you can take this app and obviously, for example, compile it as an HTML5 app for iOS and Android. That might be an option to get around the part where you have to leave the screen on all the time. Maybe try to make it run in the background. I think even for those apps, you still need the screen to be open. So they might as well just make a native application instead. Okay, so I just want to promote some courses here. One of them is the Learning JavaScript course, because for this app it's HTML5, obviously JavaScript. So you can learn at your own pace, 24/7. There's no subscriptions, it's a one-time fee. It's available on jamboshop.com. There's also the PHP. Remember, the PHP was used for the web, for the web server, and also for the handling the uploads. So I do have a course for PHP as well. Again, it's also 24/7. There are no subscriptions. It's a one-time fee. For both of these courses, all you need is a web browser. There's specific IDEs on jamboshop.com for both of them. All you do is you enter the code in there and you click the compile button. And of course, they have book versions of both of them. They are available on Amazon. The links are in the description. You search for Eduardo Jambo. For JavaScript, there's a paperback version. That's a physical book, and there's an ebook. For the PHP, it's only, as of now, there's only the ebook. So, in conclusion, was this worth it? Yes, because the old phone was just going to be, taken to the dump, literally taken to a dump. So it can be repurposed, as you saw. It's pretty easy. All you need is have some a web browser, which the phones do come with, and as long as it's capable of having a HTML5 permissions for the camera, which most phones for the past 15 years have been able to do. Even earlier, but I'm just specific about those old phones, and I've taught you how to select one of the cameras. So you could have multiple cameras, you select one of them, front or back, that's up to you. Then I create a separate record button, because sometimes you might just want to be preview, you don't need to actually record, so this allows you to do that. And you don't have to just use a phone. You can also use, I said, a tablet, a node computer. You could even do a Raspberry Pi. It could be a drone. Anything that's programmable, you can do it. Because remember, it's just as long as it has a web browser, you'll be able to do this. Okay, so I don't feel so bad anymore about the failure with the WebSockets. I said what I might do is I think it's also better to, maybe it was a blessing in disguise, because had I made a workaround to get WebSockets to work with PHP when it doesn't have a dedicated one, it might be terrible, because in the future that code would have been deprecated or would have been very dated. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise. So maybe it's better to have a dedicated application, for example, like Node.js or something else which comes with that built in. So that's what we'll do. I think in the next one we can do a Node.js, because that's some people might feel more comfortable with Node.js instead of installing PHP on their workstation or something like that. So that's what we'll do next time. So if you enjoy this article, please consider supporting me. There are several ways you can support me. Obviously, purchasing one of my WordPress plugins, programming courses, or publications, or you can become a donor. It's abdujambo.com/donate, which is also available up here. You see the donate button in the header. That's in all the headers. You scroll down, the header is there. All the references, again, in the article, which is here, you see there's the Stunnel, that's the proxy for the TCP connection that provides the SSL certificate needed for the permissions. The customer sets price plugin for WooCommerce on jambo.com, the Learning JavaScript course, Learning PHP course, or the Python course, they're all available on jambo.com. And then for the books, I have the Learning JavaScript paperback book on Amazon, the ebook version on Amazon, Python and PHP ebooks on Amazon. And I also have a jamboservices.com for custom websites, applications, and tutorials. So for example, if you have a website or you need a custom migration, or maybe something wrong with the database, maybe you've been hacked, you need to recovery, or maybe, as I said, integration, it could be logistics, payment, Bitcoins, PayPal, Stripe, Square, any payment, even a custom one, I'm able to program that for you. As long as there's an API, we can even help you create an API if you need that. And applications, as you saw, it's pretty easy to create applications in any programming language you can think of: Java, C, C++, Rust, PHP, Python, any programming language you can think of. I'll be able to C Sharp, Kotlin, like anything you want. And also, if you want to learn how to program, the programming doesn't necessarily have to be a programming language. It could be something like maybe database, which is technically a programming language, or maybe CSS styling, HTML, the markup, Excel, all those type of logic. I can help you with that as well. So that's the end. So let's check on these birds here. Zoom in a little bit. Yeah, it looks like the little shy. It's probably cold. I will go check up on them. So I think I'll end up here. As you can see this. So my review is I'm still positive about this application, and I would do it again. And I said I'll continue improving it, and I'll let you know all the improvements. So thank you, and be sure to subscribe. Be sure to like, follow, and leave comments. If you have any requests, let me know. There's several ways you can do that. You can obviously, if you go to jambo.com on the article, you can hit a reply there. You see just down here. You can use the contact form. What else? Yeah, on the platforms. For example, you see the platforms here. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, you see here all the platforms here, the channels like Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute, and YouTube. The best way to contact me is actually through the website, because I'll be able to reply, not necessarily faster, but I'll be able to reply and you won't get lost. Okay, thank you. I'm going to stop now and see you in the next one.